Today I want to quickly go over the changes coming with patch 1.9 to water tanks. This is going to be the next update for the game, and I believe this is scheduled to come out around about in the last 2 weeks of April, so pretty long way off, but it's nice to get an idea of what's going to come in the near future. So first thing you're going to see is they have reworked the attack tree to be the same as the sandbox version, which they showcased I think it was a few months ago now. So it's got the changes to the premium vehicles. They're now a separate area of the attack tree, and the attack tree now is a lot cleaner than it was before, and the collector's vehicles tabs have been added in as well. So as an example, if I go into the Russians, you'll be able to see that the Russians should have a fairly large number of collector's vehicles. They have about 13, as you can see, and TC2 is in this collector's vehicle tab, which is good because previously Wargame wasn't exactly specific as to what was going to happen to vehicles like TC2, and a lot of people rightfully feared that they were going to turn them into black market vehicles like the Foch 155, the FE215B 183, and the FE215B itself as well, and a lot of people rushed to get them unlocked before that happened, which in my opinion was probably not a bad idea. So it's good to know though that we don't really need to go all in trying to get these vehicles as soon as possible. I mean, you can see here I never unlocked the 30B on my live server account. I haven't done it yet in any shape or form. I haven't even started the MX-30's grind yet, and I have the MX-30B here. And if I just quickly show you my MX-30 as well, here it is here. I just bought this thing on the test server just to see exactly if there would be any changes to the way the cruise or anything like that would work, and as far as I can see, as far as I can tell, it seems to be that the cruise and stuff will work the same as a normal tank. So as an example, if you have a Batchat 25T crew plus a loader, then you would have to train the crew into this vehicle. It wouldn't just be like a special vehicle or something where you can just throw the crew in for no cost, if that makes sense. But you can see here for the MX-30, prototype, I don't have the turret, I don't have the radio, don't have the engine, don't have the tracks. I basically haven't done any of the grind on this vehicle, and the only reason I have this gun unlocked is because the game automatically unlocked the 30B for me whenever this patch went through. So basically the easiest way to put this particular change and how it will work is if I take a look at the Jagdpanther 2. So Jagdpanther 2 would have been about here, basically where the Ferdinand is. If you were on the Jagdpanther 2 whenever this patch goes live and you hadn't unlocked the Jagd Tiger, what would happen is the Jagdpanther 2 would stay in your garage and would become a collector's vehicle, and it would automatically unlock the Jagd Tiger for you. So that's a pretty good way of doing things in my opinion. Like, I was worried what they would do is they would just sort of replace the vehicle that you had with the vehicle which technically replaced it, but thankfully they're allowing you to keep the vehicle that you already owned, and also giving you the vehicle the tier higher, which is the reason why I have the 30B unlocked, which kind of surprised me. I didn't actually expect to be able to buy the 30B, but 30B is unlocked for me due to the situation. Actually I'm just thinking there, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's because I have the MX-30 unlocked, and because I have the MX-30 unlocked, that means that I have the MX-30B unlocked on this test server, because it'll automatically unlock the vehicle a tier higher for me. So I think that's the majority of the changes there for the attack tree, but next thing to talk about is the changes to health pools. Now, probably the easiest way to show this here is to quickly just get a few vehicles here and just show you the difference in their HP pools. So you can see the MS1. The MS1 is now sitting on 215 health, which is about double what it had before. The BT2 is about double what it had before as well. It's sitting at about 305. T28 is not quite at the level of doubling its previous HP pool, but it's about 200 or 160 more, depending on the turret, than it had before on the live server. I mean, I'm sitting here with the stock T28 in my garage. If I upgrade this thing to the fully upgraded version, the HP pool, what will it change to? Let's quickly just bring those down out of the road here, so you can just see. So it's going to change from being 510 up to 540, so a 30 health increase. So pretty good change there. Like in regards to the HP pool, it will make this vehicle a lot more survivable than it was before, because the big problem with this machine before was basically tier 5 is the land of the derp gun, and with every tier 5 pretty much that you're likely to come up against having a derp gun, it basically meant you were one shot most of the time before you even really had a chance to do anything in the game. So it's a good change that they've now made that tank able to survive those sort of hits, because the crucial thing to remember by these changes is that they are not changing the alpha damage of the guns at these tiers. So effectively you're getting the HP increase, but the time to kill is just flat out increasing, which in my opinion is a good thing, because low tier battles were either insanely long or insanely short. But I do think there are some vehicles at the lower tiers, particularly some of the premiums, which may need to be reworked a little bit in order to make them a little bit more relevant with after this change, because I think this will actually overall be a nerf to the Panzer IIJ, because the Panzer IIJ, well, it was always kind of an OP vehicle because of its armour, but its gun, it didn't exactly have the largest ammo capacity. I know you might be saying 400 rounds of ammo is a lot, but with a machine gun, not really. I have a funny feeling that vehicle will probably run out of ammo before it can kill an entire enemy team. Like, well, it doesn't have that problem on the live server right now, but I think it could potentially become a problem with this going live. It's really hard for me to really say if that's a good thing or a bad thing, because I really don't play my Panzer IIJ very often, so I don't really care very much, but I know some people might be a bit upset about that. So next thing I just want to quickly take a look at here is the KV-1 sitting on 800 health, which is actually only 30 health less than the T150 on the live server right now. So if I upgrade the turret on you, what's it sitting at? It goes up to 840, so that's 200 health more than it has on the live server right now. And T150 I actually already bought just to check, because I didn't think too many tier 6s would be affected by this change, but the T150's stock HP pool now is 940, whereas I believe before it was 830, and when you upgrade the turret it now sits on 990 health, so it's 110 health increase in its HP pool, which is nice for the T150, because T150 always had a fairly low amount of HP to use in comparison to a lot of other tier 6 heavy tanks, because there's a lot now which have like 1000 health. So having this amount of HP pool, or this amount of health on this tank, will just overall be a pretty big benefit to this machine, because it's now a lot more equal with other vehicles at its tier. But tier 7 is where the HP pool changes stop, because you can see that the IS still is sitting on 1130 health like it always has. The SU-152 still sitting on 870 like it always has. The KV-3 sitting on 1300 I believe, as it always has. So tier 7 hasn't been affected, so the higher tiers haven't been affected by these HP pool changes at all. So pretty much you might get a little bit more damage whenever you're playing at tier 8, because tier 6s will have a little bit more health for you to take. That's pretty much going to be the main impact of this. So overall I think that's going to be a pretty good change for the game. Now next thing I just want to talk about is two little minor changes. They're making some changes to the bootcamp, which is like the sort of tutorial for the game whenever you originally start playing. I'm not entirely sure what those are, didn't see anything particularly specific. And the last change is for wheeled vehicles. Wheeled vehicles, especially like this one, are going to be a little easier to drive in the next patch, because a problem they've always had is that whenever you were reversing, they didn't turn as well as they would have when they're going forward. Like whenever you're driving forward in a wheeled vehicle and you let go of the W key, your ability to turn increases a lot. So you're able to turn so much more sharply, so much more quickly than if you were holding the W key. Apparently, from what I'm reading, you'll be able to do that in reverse as well now, which is a good change for people driving wheeled vehicles. Probably not good for everybody fighting against them, but it does make sense for the way these vehicles are set up, so we can't really complain too much about that change. But I think that is all the changes I have seen on the test server, other than, well, changes to vehicle typings like the Crusader becoming a tier 6 light tank, the Cavalier being introduced, the BT5 being introduced, the what's it called again, the T4 medium or something, what's it called, T6 medium, that's it there, being introduced into the American tree, replacing the M3 Lee, which I think is probably one of the best changes they've made. The side grade thing I think they're going to get rid of because it doesn't make sense in the game anymore, because it's the only one in the game that exists. It just doesn't make sense for you to have to go through a medium in order to get the light to a tank that's based off a light tank. It just seems sort of weird. So yeah, that's something I do think they need to fix. And then there's also T41 has been changed to a heavy tank. There are some other changes like that. I just don't really think going through them all is really relevant, because I already did that there in a previous video on the sandbox test server version of these changes.